What is good, YouTube? Welcome to another Kevo Reacts video. Sisqo finally reveals why the industry ran him off. We finna get tapped in. Make sure you hit the like button. Let go.
After nearly 2 decades away from the music scene, Sisqo has finally revealed why he was pushed out of the industry, and his reason will leave you shocked. Once proclaiming himself as a dominant force in R&B, he found himself blackballed, serving as yet another reminder of how shady the music industry can be, especially when artists refuse to comply with its demands. So grab a seat, because you're about to get the full rundown on what really happened to Sisqo's career in the mid-2000s and what led to his sudden downfall. It all started with whispers from music executives claiming that Sisqo was too difficult to work with. Then, rumors about him being gay began circulating, followed by accusations of him being a deadbeat dad. Before long, his reputation took a major hit and his career started to spiral. In the end, Sisqo never fully recovered. He eventually stepped out of the limelight to focus on personal projects. But for the Gen Zs, who may not have been around when Sisqo was at the top of his game, Sisqo was an artist ahead of his time. His electrifying music and bold fashion choices set trends that would later influence artists like Chris Brown, who took inspiration from his style and sound.
They cursed out that one executive at the record label that put me on the blacklist.
Damn, okay.
It was Leor. There you go. You happy now?
He blacklists a lot of people.
Right.
In this industry.
I was the first one. I was
Really?
black and I think I started it.
He's so funny.
For starters, Sisqo was best known for his 1999 album Unleash the Dragon, which featured hit singles like Thong Song and Incomplete. If he had maintained that momentum, he would have become one of the greatest R&B artists of his time, but not everyone wanted that to happen. But let's start from the very beginning. Born Mark Althaven Andrews in November 1978 in Baltimore, Maryland, Sisqo was raised in a traditional black family. His parents, Alonzo and Carolyn Andrews, had 2 children, Sisqo and his older sister, Donisha Althaven. His father, an electrician, hoped Sisqo would follow in his footsteps and enrolled him in a vocational high school. However, fate had other plans. It was there that he met Larry Anthony, James Woody Green, and Tamir Nokio Ruffin, who would later become his bandmates. His friends nicknamed him Sisqo because of his curly hair, which made him look like a Latino. This nickname would stick with him throughout his career and beyond. At the age of 14, Sisqo
Nigga fashion choice was a little different back then. Hold on. You know what I'm saying?
and his 3 friends decided to
niggas wasn't doing that. You know, now niggas do anything now, but niggas wasn't doing that back then.
form a band called Drew Hill, named after Drew Hill Park in their hometown of Baltimore. Sisqo became the lead performer, and the group began performing at various venues around the city. Though their early days were tough, they all landed minimum wage jobs at a candy factory called The Fudgery, where they made candy and sang songs to rehearse for their upcoming gigs. It was their way of earning money while pursuing their dream. Just 2 years after graduating high school, Drew Hill hit it big. In 1996, at the age of 18, they were signed to Island Black Music Records, founded by Hiram Hicks. Their first song, How Deep Is Your Love, was recorded. But before that, in 1995, they had tried their hand at gospel music. After their gospel experiment, their manager suggested they travel to New York for a talent competition. Despite some hesitation, they agreed. It was at that competition that Hiram Hicks took notice of them and offered them a record deal. After experiencing the extensive success of their debut album, Drew Hill sued Hiram Hicks and his brothers for allegedly attacking one of their managers, Keith Ingram, with a pool cue during a party on May 18, 1997. Island Black Music Records, however, denied the allegations, claiming they were fabricated. To avoid further embarrassment over the lawsuit, the label decided to settle out of court, offering Drew Hill a $5 million advance and a royalty upgrade of 20% on each album sold. But Drew Hill turned down the offer. Here's where things get interesting. Instead of accepting what the label had offered, Drew Hill demanded to be released from their contract. But that wasn't all. They also requested a whopping $9 million. About a year after signing with the label, Drew Hill and Island Black Music reached a settlement, and the band ultimately decided to stay with with the label. However, they never
Okay.
disclosed the details of their final agreement to the press. However, James Woody Green, a member of Dru Hill, left the band in 1999 to pursue a solo career as a gospel artist. The rest of the band followed suit, with each member pursuing solo projects, but they all signed an agreement to reunite in 2001 to drop a new album. Sisqo's solo career reached great heights, especially with his debut album, Unleash the Dragon, which earned him 2 Grammy Awards, one for Best R&B Album and another for Best R&B Song. He was nominated in 4 categories during that time and was signed to Def Soul under Def Jam. His hit song, Thong Song.
I ain't never, you know, I'm young. Simple. I ain't that young, but, you know, this is before my time. I was born in 96, so all this is like a little education program for me. I'm learning a lot about Sisqo. I'm learning about how they used to run things back then and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I find it interesting though. Make sure I hit the like button. Let go.
Went on to become a worldwide sensation, reaching the top 10 on European charts and ranking number 3 in the UK, Netherlands, and Denmark. But here's the kicker. Word on the street is that Thong Song wasn't originally written for Sisqo. It was meant for Michael Jackson.
What?
According to Marquis Collins and Tim Kelly, here's what Collins had to say about it.
At the time, me and Tim, we basically were in a creative space thinking about Michael Jackson a lot. We knew we eventually wanted to get on Mike's album, so we were doing a lot of ideas that were out of the box from the normal things people had heard us do. So that was creatively this new sound we were trying to forge before we were even in touch with Sisqo. Next thing I know, he's adding the kick in. It just sounded very urgent. You knew that it was a game changer. But again, we're thinking Michael Jackson. At the time, we wasn't thinking Sisqo.
In other words, fate had big plans for Sisqo. His talent
interesting,
found the
man.
perfect opportunity at the right time. And here's what Sisqo had to say about the song. I wanted people to be happy when they heard Thong Song. I made the song extremely simple, but there's a lot of complex things going on in the music. For instance, I had some people who worked on Star Wars. I studied a lot of different classical songs before we wrote the entire string session. The reason I wrote it was because initially the song had a Beatles sample from Eleanor Rigby. I had pretty much the whole song written, but while Sisqo was celebrating his success, a major lawsuit was being filed against him by Ricky Martin over the song Thong Song. According to Martin's lawyer, he claimed a huge amount of money over the single, alleging that Sisqo had stolen the interpretation of Because You're Living La Vida Loca from his own song.
What?
Now, that was really wild. I mean, can you imagine someone suing you over 4 words in a song? It was definitely crazy. But Sisqo had to pay up, which resulted in a significant loss at the time. And here's where things get crazy. It seems that as soon as Sisqo started experiencing some fame in the industry, trouble began to follow. Sisqo became so famous that many people thought he was going to be the next Michael Jackson. But one thing about Sisqo was that he was too loyal to his community, sometimes to a fault. Soon, music executives like Leo Cohen began to find issues with him, and in an interview, Sisqo addressed this issue, saying, "Once you get to that level of success, you have to play the game. That's what I did not understand," Sisqo says. "I thought that once you had success, your job was the Robin Hood situation. You know, I'm from Baltimore, nobody has anything. When somebody had talent, I was hiring my uncle, my cousin, you know, getting people I knew to run the studio." Sisqo's Robin Hood approach, however, didn't sit well with studio executives. "Me and the label just started bumping heads because I was hard to work with," Sisqo says. "Instead of putting their person behind the console, I'd put my person behind the console. Instead of getting their rapper to rap on it, I'd get my cousin to rap on it." I guess from all of this, it's safe to say that caring for his people was part of what got Sisqo pushed out of the industry. The simple truth is that Sisqo wasn't playing by their rules in the industry, and it pissed them off, so they kicked him out. But moving on, Sisqo constantly pushed the boundaries of what was considered considered acceptable in the industry, and his record executives weren't here for it. For example, Sisqo had always been known for his signature platinum blonde colored hair, but when it came time to film the music video for Tell Me, the label asked him to dye his hair back to black.
Oh, wow.
Sisqo refused, claiming that his hair was part of his identity. After much back and forth,
why they trying to get him to dye his hair back? That's who he is. So y'all messing with him because he got his hair dyed. You feel me? Like, that's his image. You feel me?
Forth about the hair,
That's
he
messed up.
reluctantly agreed. But here's the scoop. During the shoot for the music video, Sisqo snuck away and dyed his hair back to platinum blonde. Now, you can imagine how livid the music executives must have been when they saw Sisqo with his usual blonde hair. It was then that he was told his hair would ruin his music career. But as the story goes,
That don't
the
even make
executives
sense.
followed through with their threat after realizing that Sisqo's fans loved the platinum blonde look. Sisqo's hair, among other things, set him apart from other R&B singers of his time. But along the way, Sisqo was also accused of being gay due to his flashy style, which was closely tied to his hair. However, he denied the rumors, saying he was comfortable in his masculinity.
Yeah, well, the gay rumors is once again unwarranted when I guess it was because my hair's blonde. Oh, that's right. Everybody dyeing their hair blonde right now. Everybody's rocking leather right now. Everybody's doing everything I did back.
Niggas dyeing they dreads blonde. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Simple, bro. They dyeing they dreads blonde, they hair different colors. That shit red, blue, purple. Niggas done went crazy with the dye. And he was doing it way before everybody. And you know what I'm saying? But that's what happens when you the first to do something. You're going to take the flame. You're going to take the fire from it, the hate from it. And you crawl so everybody can walk type shit. That's it, man.
Back in the day. Are they gay too? All right. I guess the silence has it. Nobody asked nobody else what they gay, but I'm gay. I'm just a trailblazer, dude. I'm at the top of the list. I take risk because I'm not insecure about myself or my manhood, so I can do, whatever I feel like I, want to do to express myself as an artist, and it kind of, one of those things that I was able to do first, so that young artists now can express themselves without having fear of being called gay.
But things didn't help when Sisqo appeared on Celebrity Big Brother wearing a black thong with his genitals on full display. According to him, he dressed like that because there was a challenge to determine who would be the hunk of the house. And he took the risk in hopes of a greater reward. After this drama, things became really shaky for Sisqo. Many people in the industry wanted him out, and artists like R. Kelly later released a diss track titled Hold Up, which was aimed at Sisqo. One of the lines read, "20s on the drop, blue and yellow rocks, Cakey yelling stop, Sisqo's album flopped." Even though R. Kelly tried to dismiss claims that there was a beef between him and Sisqo, fans later found out that R. Kelly began hating on Sisqo after a televised interview where Sisqo said, and I quote,
"Niggas be hating, bro. Why niggas be hating so much, man? Like, I can be great and you could be great too. You feel me? Why do it have to be you the only one that can be great? You the only one that can make some money. You the only one that can be on top. You the only one that can be successful. Bro, we all got our own journey in life. The money I make doesn't affect the money you make. You feel me? So niggas just be hating, bro. And I guess they both doing R&B, so it's a little competition, da-da-da. So what, bro? Just work harder. So what? If somebody better than you at something, so work on your craft. Use that as motivation. I don't understand the hate situation in any situation. Facts. Hate is so lame to me, bro.
shutting it down when it came to R&B. Sisqo chose to be the bigger person and did not respond to the diss track. But as if all that drama wasn't enough, a woman named Jamila Farid from Switzerland sued Sisqo for child support, claiming that Sisqo had slept with her when she was 14 and he was 21. According to her, she met Sisqo while he was on the European leg of his tour. She said she was at a nightclub when Sisqo reportedly invited her.
How you at a nightclub at 14 though? It's a little suspicious.
Back to his hotel, and the rest, as they say, is history. This news caused a major dent in Sisqo's career. However, he tried to bounce back by reuniting with the band, but their album performed below expectations, with many people calling it a flop. More trouble awaited Sisqo when, in 2003, he and his then-girlfriend were arrested for firing shots at a neighbor's car parked outside their house. After his release, it seemed like Sisqo vanished into thin air until 2015, when he created his own record label, Dragon Music, and released the song Last Dragon. However, Sisqo later told ABC News that he was blackballed by mainstream music executives after he pushed back against the industry. But moving on, when it came to Sisqo's romantic life, Sisqo got married in 2018 to Elizabeth in Minneapolis after the duo had dated for 15 years, and at the wedding, Sisqo performed his famous controversial thong song at the reception. According to him, he performed the song because Elizabeth's thong was the last one he was ever going to see. Now, amongst all the rumors that were made up about Sisqo, one of them that he found pretty hilarious was that he once dated Beyonce. However, to avoid some Jay-Z trouble, Sisqo shot down the whispers, claiming that he and
we learning that you can't really mess with Jay-Z, bro. That nigga too powerful. You know what I'm saying? Just leave him alone. Cause that nigga will come after you. Simple. Hey, ain't he at the Nicki Minaj right now? Damn.
Beyonce were just friends, and that was only because the duo were around each other during their early years in the industry. Seeing that music wasn't really working out for him like it had in the past, Sisqo decided to branch out and start multiple businesses. One of his ventures included a clothing line, and he also began writing children's books. According to Sisqo, even though the industry tried to erase him, he was still doing well and was happy, as he's now his own boss and doing his own thing. But I want to hear from y'all in the comments. Do you guys?
That's what's up, man. Wow. Like I say, I'm you know, I was born in 96, but by the time I'm 4 years old, it's 2000. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So all this was happening. I was a kid being a kid. You feel me? You know, I hear about some stuff and I know about some stuff. I know the thong song and all that type of stuff. But as far as like the back history and what really happened, and you know, a couple of these interviews and shit, it's really, you know, put me on game. Simple. And you could definitely tell they blackballed them, bro. Niggas be hating, bro. Simple. No matter who it was it the label or other artists, they do that. You know, if you ain't kissing ass, niggas try to blackball you, bro. So, hey, man, I hope he on his grind. I hope he's still out there making it and surviving, man. It's your boy Kevo, man. Hit the like button for me if you enjoyed the video. If you made it all the way to the end, you should be already subscribed. You should already have your notifications on. Hold on. Simple.